I listen to your show every single day.
Breakfast Club?
God damn it, the Breakfast Club.
Put that ass up on the Breakfast Club.
Made it! You can't say Breakfast Club without the Breakfast Club.
You're like this rare air.
You got platforms and partners all over the place because your demand is so high. People want to be in business with the Breakfast Club. I don't think white people know how popular you guys are.
DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God.
You guys really are like the hip-hop early morning, late night talk show.
Y'all know what y'all talking about.
Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Jess Hilarious.
Good morning.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday. Good morning.
We here. What's happening, man? Another day to serve. I feel blessed, black, and highly favored. How y'all feel?
I feel good.
Okay.
Yep, I feel good. I'm just
rested?
really, really hungry.
You just hungry?
Yeah, I'm really not rested, but I do still feel good.
You didn't get no sleep last night?
I did, but I just kept waking up. Like, I'm at the point where, like, my bladder wakes me up. Like, 'cause I have to keep waking up to go to the bathroom.
Go pee.
Baby's put pressure on the bladder?
A lot of pressure. I had my appointment yesterday, though, and I did everything. But I didn't know that you don't find out the day of. So 7 to 10 days, and then I have to give the email to my sister because I don't want to know. You know, we're doing a gender reveal. So.
Well, they can look on the sonogram
immediately when they
They can
No,
look and see if
it's
there's
not that. I had to do the nip test, you know, so I did
okay.
it through like my blood.
Okay.
So so they can be sure, because sometimes when you're able to, when they reveal the gender through your sonogram, sometimes they're wrong.
They could be wrong, right?
They're wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're right. Through the blood test, it's
Yes.
absolutely positively. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
we're awaiting that.
Okay.
And what are you manifesting?
A girl
Yes.
Girl.
all day.
Okay. Now, yesterday you ordered a taco. We couldn't get you a taco. There was no taco place open. We looked and we tried. What are you feeding for today?
Cheez-Its.
Food-wise.
A taco.
Taco.
For real, because I never got them.
Never got your taco.
Yeah.
We tried yesterday and the place closed, so we'll see if we can get you a taco today.
Taylor got to connect. Didn't Taylor just have tacos up?
I don't have time. Come on now.
Why are you gonna do that? Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't want no Jamaican tacos. Y'all just let's go the regular Mexican way.
Oh, you want Mexican tacos?
Yeah.
Why you just ain't go to your baby daddy house?
Stupid.
I don't understand. I saw him yesterday. I mean, why didn't you just go with him?
Well, no.
He knows where to get him.
Yo.
I work here. That's why I couldn't go with him.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, boxer Andre Ward will be joining us. He has a new book, Killing the Image. We're gonna be kicking it with Andre Ward.
Former boxer, retired boxer, one of the
boxer.
greatest boxers to ever step into a boxing ring. Now he's a boxing commentator and author, amongst other things.
That's right. So we're gonna be kicking it with him and comedian. You might know him. You might not. Pretty funny.
Mildly funny.
Mildly funny. Donnell Rawlings will be joining us.
Yes, he will be.
That's right.
He's got a Netflix special called A New Day. I'm sure that you've watched it because it was it debuted at number 2 on Netflix and it's been in the top 10, you know, for the past week.
Have you
He
seen it?
called Jaw the Breakfast Clowns because he damn sure wasn't talking about man. He called Jaw the Breakfast Clowns, y'all. Yes.
When last time we went to the show? He was with Dave, right?
Yeah, I saw him at the North Charleston Coliseum last year.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to the taping of his special, but he was taping the same night as Joe Coy. So I figured I'd never been to a Joe Coy one.
You
so I had to go support Joe Coy. I told Joe I was going to come. Joe was like, you never come to my specials. He'd be giving me hell for it. So I went to his instead.
Is he white?
Asian.
Filipino.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Choose anybody else over your own.
Well, just when it comes to Donnell, I'll choose anybody over Donnell.
That's what I mean.
Jesus. All right. Well, front page news is next. Tesla and Figaro will be joining us. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tiz.
Good morning, DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy.
Peace, Ted.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Let's start off with Nikki Haley.
Yeah, so no surprise, she has got out of the race. She suspended her campaign for president. Let's take a listen.
After winning only one state on Super Tuesday, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley bowed out of the presidential race.
I am filled with the gratitude for the outpouring of support we've received from all across our great country. But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
Haley congratulated the now presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump, but did not endorse him.
I have always been a conservative Republican and always supported the Republican nominee. But on this question, as she did on so many others, Margaret Thatcher provided some good advice when she said, quote, "Never just follow the crowd. always make up your own mind.
Haley's announcement all but confirms a rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Trump.
It's a rematch. I mean, let's just, it is what it is. This is where the table has been set. It will be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. The question is what's going to happen with those Nikki Haley voters. Joe Biden did offer them a place. He said that Donald Trump made it clear he doesn't want Nikki Haley supporters. He said, I want to be clear, there's a place for them in my campaign. Trump did not extend an offer as of yet. He did say that Nikki Haley got trounced in the Super Tuesday election in record-setting fashion. He said, despite the fact that Democrats, for reasons unknown, are allowed to vote in Vermont and various other Republican primaries. So he has not extended an olive branch as of yet to her supporters. But this is where we are, guys. Biden versus Trump.
Well, they're both. Donald Trump is crazy for not doing that because they're gonna need those people. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about in November. Energizing those people who don't feel inspired to vote for either candidate. Because there's not a lot of people that there's a whole lot of people who are not inspired by either candidate. They're not inspired by this rematch. So it's up to Biden and Trump to energize those people who don't feel inspired because they probably gonna make the difference in November.
Yeah. Trump's style is, though, you either with me or you against me. Bottom line, he said Biden is a disaster to the country and you need to come join the best movement in history. So that's his way of extending. He's not.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is considered a threat to democracy. I was watching what was it, John Bolton, I think he was on CNN last night. He's the the former advisor to Trump for something. I forgot what it was, but he said he ain't voting for either one of them.
Really? Yeah.
He said, I'm not voting for Biden or Trump. So I know there's a lot of people who feel like that.
Yeah, I saw that too. And he was saying he just can't go against his conservative values to vote for Joe Biden. But he certainly can't align, with Trump as well. But this is where we are. People are going to have to make a decision. I think it's important, though, that we also talk about local and state races. Like, there's a lot of races that are still happening. So for those who are saying, well, I just can't vote for Biden or Trump, I would hope that you would still think it's important for governors, Congress, city council, sheriffs. Those positions are up as well. Those are positions you have to vote in. So it's going to be a tough road ahead. So Joe Biden will be doing the State of the Union address tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they're hoping that he's making the case on why he should be a choice.
And John Bolton is the former U.S. National Security Advisor. That's what that is. Yeah, and you're right about the State of the Union. If I was President Biden tonight, I would focus on America. I would really adopt Trump's philosophy about America first. How you going to provide financial relief for the American people? How you going to make sure we can keep affordable food on our tables and affordable roofs over our head? Geopolitical politics, not going to cut it tonight. We don't want to hear about more money being sent to other countries. He needs to talk about how he's going to provide financial relief for America.
Do you think he should address Trump and make the comparison or leave Trump out of the conversation? I'm gonna be honest with you,
I don't think it matters. I think Democrats doing that, focusing on Trump is pointless. They need to focus on those people who are not inspired to get up off the couch in November. I told y'all millions of times. It's about Republicans who are the crooks this year. It's about Democrats who are the cowards because they don't fight enough. And it's about the couch, and that's voter apathy. They need to focus on those people on the couch because you ain't changing none of the people that support Trump's mind. Nope, that's not happening. No,
that's for sure.
At all. So going after the people who supported Nikki Haley, going after those independents, going after those hypothetical swing voters they always chasing, that's who they need to focus on.
All right. Well, that is front page news. What are we talking next hour, Tez?
Yeah, we're talking. So New York, now you see M16s, on your subway with the National Guard now patrolling the NYC subway as a new crime initiative that the governor has rolled out. I want to talk about that. I think that's really interesting, guys. So we're going to talk about that at 7:00 to see if they're doing too much or if it makes you feel safer.
Okay.
Where the hell you get a whole plate from, Jess Hilarious?
Oh, I made me a salad this morning.
Oh.
But to the front page news, this is blasphemy.
What?
What's blasphemy?
You just don't worry.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's a new day.
This is your time to get it off your chest.
Wake up.
Whether you're mad or blessed.
It's time to get up and get something.
Call up now. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Good morning, Leonard. This is your little cousin, man. It's Larry, this Drew grandson, the Thomas grandson.
Oh, this sounds like one of my cousins now. What's happening?
That's one of your last name McKelvey too?
Listen, my name, hey, Leonard, the last time you seen me, was in 0405 when you came to Drew apartment in Harlem before she passed.
Drew apartment in Harlem.
You don't know Drew?
I don't know a Drew in Harlem.
So his name is not Leonard. His name is not Leonard. His name is Leonard.
My name is Leonard, boy.
His name is Leonard.
Yes.
Drew, you don't have a cousin named Drew? A cousin named Thomas?
Tony?
South Carolina?
Yeah, I got a cousin named Tony. Thomas?
Thomas.
Yeah, in Kitfield.
Okay, Thomas' wife, Drew.
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I ain't never been to Drew apartment, my brother.
The Drew apartment and something happened.
Something happened to Drew apartment.
Yeah, I ain't never been to Drew apartment in Harlem.
All right.
You never been there?
Your cousin said stop lying.
His cousin sound like, why you lying, bro?
Anyhow, how I know Drew, how I know Thomas your cousin?
Oh,
That's
boy.
your dad's cousin.
I mean,
What happened?
yeah, I got a cousin named Thomas.
Yeah, what happened? What happened with
What happened in that apartment that night?
He met all his little cousins in the apartment.
Listen, I'm not saying I didn't. I just don't remember. 0405, that was a long time ago, my brother.
Yeah, you wrote it down. You wrote it down in your book.
I wrote it down in my book. That I was.
You had a black book.
I ain't talking about being in no apartment in Harlem in my book called Black Privilege.
You got a black book?
Mm-hmm.
It's called Black Privilege. It's a New York Times bestseller. Sold millions of copies all
Yo,
over the
he
world.
just read it. How you gonna say he didn't write it?
Listen, you got a cousin, Charlamagne, you got a cousin named Roosky?
Roosky?
Yeah, Roosky. They call her Pigeon. She's from Carolina.
Oh, Roosky.
South Carolina.
My brother, I'm not gonna say I don't. But these names ain't ringing a bell right now, brother.
But Larry, you have a good day, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, he mad. He gonna call your pops later on. He
But
gonna call your mama later on.
like, get to it. What happened?
But y'all parents don't do that to y'all. You know Drew. You know Pigeon. And be like, man, I don't know these people that.
But it usually leads to tell us something
Yeah,
about
like
the
a
people.
story,
Like, it's
like,
like he just wanted.
they just got a promotion.
Yeah, he had the whole family tree. Don't you know? Don't you know?
Yeah, I ain't never. The only place I ever been in Harlem was when our former producer Sasha used to live in Harlem. I ain't never been to nobody else's house in Harlem that I can remember. Did Amanda live in Harlem?
Yes.
Amanda still lives in Harlem, right? She did. Yeah.
It was a night in the apartment that he was trying to let you know about.
All right. Well, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Keep calling.
800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, peace and blessings, man. Good morning, Breakfast Club. Jess Hilarious.
Sean Stone, good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning, Charlamagne.
Peace, King. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed, man. Hey, Charlamagne.
Yes, sir.
My lady just wanted to let you know, bro. She had to tell me, the black woman said, hey, let Charlamagne know that there ain't no baby mama and she a wife to be.
That's called a fiance. Have you proposed to her?
Yes.
All right, so that's your fiance.
That's nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So she just wanted you to know that, all right?
Tell her I appreciate that, and I will respect her her wishes.
Hey, and one thing I gotta say about her too, she a big Cowboys fan like you, man.
I thought you were about to say she a big back.
Nah, she got a small back. She got a small back.
I know that's right. Shout out to the
Salute
small
all the
back.
Cowboy fans out there.
Oh, my goodness.
You know who got the big back though? Me, man, because I'm a man. You know what I mean? So it's funny how T.S. Madison is mad because you said she got a big back. When technically,
I never said that about T.S. Madison, sir. I never said T.S. Madison had a big back. See how lies get spread? I never said that.
You know how it is. And Trav, please stop thinking about me. All right, stop talking about me to Taylor. They wondering why ladies get with me because they desperate. Nah, the boy got game, and I'm able to talk. I'm funny. You feel me? I have sense of humor. So that's why ladies like me, man. And I work hard out here.
That's why Trav like you too.
That is why Trav likes you too.
That's why Trav got a secret crush on you right now.
I know he crushing on me, but it's okay. I don't like men. You know what I mean? I respect the fact that he's gay. That's cool. If you want to get every day, that's him.
What?
Because he a bottom. You know what I mean? But Sean Stone loves ladies, man. Jess, tell him I love ladies.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why.
Sean Stone love the ladies, y'all.
Thank you.
But I don't understand why men that love ladies have to broadcast that. Like, why do you have to tell people that you ain't into men?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy.
Ain't nothing wrong with broadcasting it though.
It is. Who you trying to convince?
No, I'm just saying, you just letting people know.
I guess if you can announce you gay, I guess you can announce you straight.
Y'all way to be gay
Yeah,
on
I'm
this
saying.
station. Like y'all really do. Y'all broadcast that. If y'all broadcast that how much y'all straight, that'll be great for y'all too.
Nah, I think if you can announce you gay, you can announce you straight, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, who's this?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, Mama?
Hey, my name's Olivia.
Hey, Olivia. Get it off your chest.
I'm calling in from Connecticut. I wanted to wish my sister a happy birthday. Her birthday today. She's 22.
Okay.
And my nephew's birthday was on Leap Day, and my daughter's birthday was on Valentine's Day. So happy birthday to everybody.
So you're doing a lot of celebrating the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, so much. But blessings.
Okay.
And then when my song was on, she mentioned the music video that she wanted to do, and the weekend I already did that concept.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. What happened now?
But just happy birthday to your sister, though.
Yeah, happy birthday, Pisces gang.
Y'all just ignored her about what
I could hear she said something about a weekend video. I
music
could
suggestion.
No.
My phone started going out.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's Gavin from Arizona.
Hey, what's up, brother? Get it off your chest.
Yeah, I lost my job back in January, and it's been tough trying to get back on my feet, trying to make sure I don't lose my house and my car. And I'm just looking for some prayers that I find a job soon.
Okay. Where'd you work?
Well, we praying for you, brother.
Yeah, I worked at a big finance company. I was a accountant and a financial analyst, and I feel like they bullied me out of my job, and I was treated unfairly. So,
are you actively looking for more work?
Yeah, I have some interviews, but it just seems like I've been looking for like 2 months and not getting any offers.
It happens, brother. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not over. It's not finito. You just got to keep trusting the process. Keep trusting the process. Keep trusting God, brother.
Yeah, my family's been praying. Just hopefully something happens soon. It's getting really tough.
Something gonna shake, my brother. I got faith in you, and you got faith in yourself, and you should have faith in God. Trust that something gonna shake. We all been there at some point in life.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
We praying for you, King.
Okay, I'll put my Cash App out.
Sure, absolutely. What is it?
YD like cat, RAN like Nancy, S like Sam, 90.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We praying for you, though, brother.
Have a good one, brother. Good luck.
Right. You too. Thank you.
You didn't write this one down.
I'm gonna tell you something.
What?
I'm not saying that what that man said wasn't true.
What?
There's a Cash App voice. I heard it.
You heard the
I heard it because every time we said we was praying for him, he was kind of like ignoring that a little bit. You know what I mean? He was ignoring that a little bit. You can't want the paper over the prayers. Okay? You can't want the paper over the prayers.
He wanted both, but he just wanted the
paper.
He
wanted
too.
both, but he wanted that paper. I could hear it.
I
could hear it in his voice. I could hear it in his voice.
But you ain't write it down. You ain't.
I wasn't moved.
No.
I'm praying for him, but I just wasn't. My discernment didn't say.
Give him some money.
Because I'm not saying that people aren't going through things, but I just think that they hear us do that a lot on the radio, and you don't know who's telling the truth a lot of times.
Right.
Yeah.
My spirit didn't. That one didn't move you. That one was like just stand down, give me your prayers.
Listen, somebody had just said to me, they used to give out a lot of money, like a lot of cash apps on the Breakfast Club. Why you don't make them do that no more? I was like, I'm not giving out anything but prayers. So I don't know. So yeah, people got used to y'all giving out money.
Now we used to do that, like when people would call, and we still do. Like if somebody's going through hard times, we pay for their lunch or we pay for their dinner, or we throw a couple dollars in their account to help them out.
Word travels. People make up stories to get money, and they be like,
I agree.
DJ Envy and Charlamagne, they so nice, they generous. So if I call and have a good enough story or sad enough story, they will give me some money.
And that young man not going through nothing nobody ever hasn't been through. We all done been unemployed and in between jobs. That's like that's not a tragic story.
Yeah.
Well, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got Jess with the Mess coming up. What we talking about?
Yes, Tory Lanez is finally about to do his first prison interview.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious. That's some fun, Jess. Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get to Jess with the Mess.
News is real.
Jess Hilarious, Jess Robin Moore. Jess don't do no lying.
Jess is going to bring you numbers.
Jess with the Mess, and this is real.
On The Breakfast Club.
I know they know the difference. Keep it a stack.
All right, so this one pissed me off, y'all, because I did just tease that Tory Lanez has to, he about to sit down for his first interview from prison. But it's so simple. I didn't listen to the audio before. I wouldn't have reported it. But this is very simple. This is what it said. Number 5,
Oh, yo, chat, by the way, free my dog Tory, man. A&X Tory Lane stream. It's going to be a Zoom call, chat. He's going to be in jail, and I'm going to be at the warehouse. Zoom call. Very, very soon.
Why would you speak on it before you even get a date? Like, my
get
gosh.
everybody excited. Just like
my dumb ass. Yep. I'm sitting there saying, oh my God, I'm about to report it. I was happy as hell.
Yep. It's called promotion.
I know, right? Crazy. All right. Ryan Garcia shares another update. Yesterday, we reported on Ryan Garcia's recent activity on social media, hack messages. He claims everything was happening to him from kidnapping, and he lost access to his money, etc., all of that stuff. Since then, TMZ released another video of Ryan Garcia. In the newest video, he addressed his last few social media posts and says how things will go moving forward.
Here to announce my return back to Instagram. Now, over these past couple of days, you guys have seen some pretty intense things. I understand what they are and I understand what they look like. But I'm coming back to announce I'm not going to speak on any other topic other than boxing, sports, and my fight. That's the only thing I'm going to be talking about. I'm training for this fight. I want everybody to know this fight's still on. 420, 5 weeks of super focus. I have PBD helping me in this camp and many other warriors. So I thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you guys on 420.
You know the problem with all these
nice.
situations?
What?
The backdrop of the fight. So being that we know there's a fight on 420, we just can't determine what's real and what's not real. Like how we just talked about Tory Lanez because we know that was promotion. How do we know that all of this stuff just isn't promo?
How do we know it is? How do we know?
That's what I'm saying, we don't.
I really feel like it has nothing to do. All we can do is just give opinions on what we think. You know, I don't feel like any of that stuff yesterday, had anything to do with the fight. I still think he always wanted to fight. I don't think this was the back out of a fight or anything. I really think that
he's selling the hell out of this fight right now.
Got some.
That's what you think it is? He's selling.
If Ryan Garcia is going to fight April 20th against Devin Haney, we're all tuning in. He's got casuals ready to watch. And by the way, Ryan Garcia always does good pay-per-view numbers as it is. But he definitely got people intrigued to want to see this fight on 420, even casuals.
Yeah, well, Devin Haney yesterday said that he feels like Ryan Garcia is playing crazy to promote the fight.
See, why you gotta be crazy? Why you gotta be playing crazy, Devin?
He said he's just acting for attention.
He's definitely selling the hell out of this fight.
Well, hopefully what he said gets enough attention in the world. You know what I'm saying? But until then, we can keep on speaking Jesus' name like he said, because why wouldn't we? Moving on. Cam Newton speaks on recent fight. Cam Newton appeared on an episode of The Big Podcast with Shaq. He spoke on the fight that was caught on camera at his football camp. That's what he had to say.
What you saw was those are grown men. Those weren't kids. That narrative was familiar coaching, and it got chippy. For me, that's not the first time that happens, and honestly, knowing my world, that probably won't be the last. I think, people see like, Cam standing on business, Cam had bobby pins in his head. Those are all funny things, but when I look at it, it's like, man, it could have got ugly on both sides. Because I'm the type of person, when I feel triggered, I react. I don't think, and that's the issue.
I said the same
I
thing.
do agree. Yeah, you did. You did say that when it happened. I ain't like how Shaq was like, so what happened at your little football camp? First of all, Shaq, just because you bigger than everything, don't be doing all that. I hate when we reference, accomplishments as little. But yeah, I felt like I would even like to apologize because I kept saying kids, but they look like kids next to your big ass Cam. So yeah, but they were grown men, and like he said, things could have gotten ugly on both sides, and he reacted the wrong way or whatever, but that was his first time speaking on it.
But I think it's a lot of lack of respect, right?
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, especially with athletes, with people that do well. You see it with comedians, oh, you ain't funny. Or you see it with athletes, I'll bust your ass right now. Or you see it all the time where people test these people that show their compliments and don't give them the props. I see it all the time.
Because everybody got a smartphone now, and everybody got their own little reality show going on. And they think we all extras and guest stars in they reality show.
That's the smartest thing you ever said, Charlamagne. All right, moving on. Gerard Carmichael shares his family's reactions to him being gay. So Gerard Carmichael is releasing a self-titled docuseries. Oh my gosh, shut up. He's releasing a self-titled docuseries on HBO. The show will follow his life at home and his relationship with his parents. And we have a little snippet of the trailer. Number 8. You don't have number 8?
There's no 8.
Oh my God. All right, well, I'm reporting the second hour because I only got a few seconds anyway. This is some... Oh my gosh.
I did hear you tease that story earlier, so I don't know why it's not in there.
That's crazy. I literally edited myself.
I know.
Jesus. All right. Well,
Thank you, producers. Thank you so much.
You got it now?
You got it now, but now you about to swirl your finger, so I'll get to it next.
When we come back, we got front page news, and then ex-boxer Andre Ward will be joining us. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out the Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. What's up, Tez?
What's going on, DJ NV? Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy.
Hey, girl.
Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the subway and all of the crime that's going on in the subway.
Yeah. I can't wait to get your response on this, guys, with you guys being in New York City. Now you'll see the National Guard armed with M16 as a part of the new plan to fight subway crime. Let's take a listen.
There were M16s, part of the governor's 5-part plan announced today aimed at combating subway crime. 750 National Guard soldiers, 250 state troopers and MTA police, and more random bag checks.
To those who are feeling anxious whenever they walk through those turnstiles, we will stop at nothing to keep you safe.
Some riders, though, not sure if it'll have the intended effect.
Wow, I didn't think it was at the point of National Guard needed.
More nervous because I feel like it's more of a threat happening versus just the police. So I don't think the National Guard would be a good idea.
Concern, take harkening back to like 9/11.
Feels like a huge overreaction and overreach.
Donnell Lieberman is the executive director of the NYCLU.
Calling out the National Guard in response to some incidents is not the way to go.
Now, the governor wants to give the judges more power for repeat offenders by creating a new early warning system for repeat offenders, and wants them banned for 3 years if they've been convicted of a violent crime. Here's what she had to say and what Michael Kemper had to say, who is the chief of transit.
We know who they are. They'll flag the criminal history at the time of arrest, so it can be fully considered when decisions regarding charging and bail are made.
Why are we arresting people 100 times? And once we make the arrest, why are they back out within a day or two sometimes?
So the experts say that involving the National Guard is not sustainable. It's only going to last a few months. So they're saying, what's the point in doing it? It's just making folks anxious. The governor did say the cameras will be on every car by the end of the year and in every conductor booth. And some of the resources will be spent to make the system safer. And Mayor Eric Adams said the overall crime is down. He said double-digit decreases in subway crime since February 2024. Some folks say that NYPD should have gotten the $20 million to put more officers on the subway opposed to, giving it to the National Guard. So what do you guys think? Let me give the 5-point crime plan so we can talk about it. 750 National Guard members, 250 MTA and state police, new cameras, point 2. 3, $20 million to expand mental health teams, 4, improve coordination, and 5, ban on repeat offenders. What do you guys think? Are they doing too much, or is this a good thing?
Well, I think there's long-term solutions and short-term solutions. This is a short-term, temporary solution that may or make things better, or it may make things worse. I love number 2 on here, which is the $20 million to expand mental health teams, because I always want to get to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is dealing with poverty. The root of the problem is getting folks proper access to mental health care. That's how you reduce crime anywhere. When you provide people resources to put food on their table and a roof over their head, and you provide them resources to have proper access to mental health care. But that's the long-term solution. But America does not know how to solve problems long-term.
Yeah, I will say this, though. You look at airplanes and airports, right? And they say they get about, I'm looking right now, they said about 1.73 million people fly daily, right? Then you look at the New York City subways, and it says about 2.4 million people ride the subway. There's no protection for those people on the subway. Yesterday, the conductor got bashed in the head with a bottle. It's no protection. I don't ride the subways. I don't. My kids don't ride the subway. It is not safe down there. People get cut down there. You hear about stories, people getting pushed onto the track. It's very dangerous, and there's no protection. There's not enough protection for people there. So if you can have protection in the airport and make people go through all types of devices, and there are armed guards at the airport, why not in a place with subway where they have more people than the airports? That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I don't believe they're saying they don't want protection. They just feel like this might be an overreach, because it's 1,000 National Guardsmen they're putting in the subways.
750. And so when you talk about what the National Guard, what the job is to respond to domestic emergencies. So the question is, do you think it's necessary to have the National Guard, with M16s? And keep in mind, the National Guard is not trained to deal with subway incidents. So that's why NYPD is saying more money should be spent on the actual police officers that actually know how to, work with folks on the subway who are accustomed to that type of patrolling.
Oh yeah,
So
and it's 750 National Guard tests, but it's 250 MTA and state police. So it is almost 1,000.
Yes, it is. Total overall, yes. But I was speaking to the National Guard. So do you think does that make you feel safer, Jess, looking at somebody with an M16, or does it make you anxious? Like that
Absolutely. I feel safer.
You do? Okay.
I do too. I ain't gonna say that. I don't know what
If I'm not doing that wrong, I feel safe. I know there's somebody I can run to. If somebody try to bash me over the head or cut me or shoot me or rob me or steal, I would feel safe.
Yeah, walking through the airport, when you walk through JFK Airport and all them people with M16s, you feel
safer.
100, it's not.
Absolutely. I know I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Some folks say that they don't. They feel it's anxious. They just making them feel anxious, like, what's going on? Are they gonna start shooting folks down? So, but again, this is not a short-term solution. It's just a couple of months. So what's the point? I guess in having them a couple of months and then going back to business as usual.
But that's what I say when I say you got to have a long-term solution, and the long-term solution is dealing with poverty and getting folks proper access to mental health care. Like, that's how you reduce crime anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to actually solve the problem of crime in this country. They're just finding ways to police it.
Yeah, but the sad thing about it is any place where there's a lot of people, whether it's a football game, a basketball game, or any type of thing where there's a lot of people, a concert, they make people go through some type of form of security to protect each other, right? The subway is the only place where millions of people go, and nobody checks nothing on them.
Well, they are doing random bag checks, but I know your point. You mean like every single person?
Yeah, they're like you don't know what anybody got in their bag. Like, you don't know if they got a weapon. You don't know if they had a bad day. You don't know. Everything else, they check people.
And random.
In the subway, they don't.
But random bag checks, who the random people they're gonna be checking the most is black and brown people. You do know that.
Yeah, but that's why I said I didn't say anything about random check. That's why you put some type of system out there where everybody has to walk through some type of security. Yeah. Once you're inside, y'all pretty much playing on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, Tez.
Absolutely.
And make sure you follow at Teslin Figaro on all social media platforms and subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, hosted by Teslin Figaro.
All right. When we come back, ex-boxer Andre Ward will be joining us. He has a new book, Killing the Image, A Champion's Journey of Faith, Fighting, and Forgiveness.
One of the greatest boxers of all time, undefeated. Okay?
Okay. We'll talk to him next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Boxing legend and icon, Andre Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm juggling, but it's all good. I'm working it out.
Well, I hope y'all have read Andre Ward's book already, Killing the Image, A Champion's Journey of Faith, Fighting, and Forgiveness. You've always been notoriously, private with your personal life to a certain extent. How did you know now was the time to reveal it all in a book?
Man, it's been a few years coming. I've said it many times, promoting this book. Like, I'm an 80s baby, and I was raised to not share my business. My family's business, and it's not about this day and age because people overshare. That people think that like being private is some weird or something sneaky about you, what you hide. And it's like, nah, that's a superpower to like keep my business to myself and not share it. So, but as I'm getting in the game and I'm mentoring a lot of guys, I'm trying to tell them like, bro, I understand what you're going through. I've been there, done that. And they like, nah, you always been like this. And it's like, nah, bro, like I'm telling you, I did more than you. So I start getting discontent and start feeling like, man, they don't have the full story. And I was talking to my pastor, man, and he was like, Dre, you got to kill the image. And I'm like, what you mean? And he was like, nah, who you are is real, but it's not who you've always been. You can tell that story now.
For people that don't know who Andre Ward is and how you got into boxing, break that down a little bit. What got you into boxing? What made you love boxing?
My daddy. I was my first love was baseball. I was a pitcher and a shortstop, but I was always competitive, always, just competitive. Like, I'm a sore winner and a sore loser. And my daddy started telling me about his amateur career. He was at 15-0 as a heavyweight. I'm like, what you mean you boxed? And my dad, like I said, he raised me as a single parent. So I'm like, I want to do it. I ain't even think about it. And that was the first seed that was sown. And my dad being my dad, you know, and I talk about this in the book, he's like, man, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. You're not going to quit. But the first day I walked in that gym, man, it was love at first sight. And I didn't even really understand what that was. I just knew the sights and the sounds, the speed bag, the heavy bag, you know, the smells of the gym, you know, hearing people, hitting the bag and sparring. I knew I loved it. I wasn't very good when we first started.
Was he hard on you?
Very. But that's why my dad couldn't train me. You know, my dad was, you know, he was all or nothing. You know, I told you to get your bleep hands up, man. What you doing? Move your head. And me, I was shut down. I don't respond to that. And shortly after I started, we met Virgil, my godfather, lifelong trainer, and Virg had a different finesse about him. You know, he would, hey baby, try this. Do this, get your hands up now. I responded to that. So my dad was wise enough to pass me on the Virg.
We don't hear those stories enough about single fathers.
Yes.
Raising
it's rare.
Kids. How did that impact you? Not have a mother in the house. You always hear about not having a father in the house. How did it impact you not having a mother in the house?
Man, the good part of it was I got to see a man get up every day and go to work. My father would always say, you know, I got my struggles. And my father, he struggled with heroin addiction. But he was a functional addict. And my mother was a full-blown addict. You know, she was in San Francisco. I'm in the East Bay. And she's completely in her addiction. And my dad would say, I don't care what I'm going through, I'm not leaving. You know? So just seeing him get up every day, he owned his own business, get up every day and go to work. He struggled at night. He had that monkey on his back when he came home. But that showed me what manhood was about. That gave me a strength about me and a confidence about me. Not having a mother there, that I didn't have that nurturing. I was raised by a bachelor. I didn't have that gentleness, that balance that a young man needs. So now when I get into a relationship, I wonder why I got mistrust and distrust for this young lady, my wife Tiffany, that I say I love. I can't seem to trust because the most important woman in my life at the time, she wasn't there. So it took me time, Charlamagne, to start realizing the mother wound. We talk about father wounds, but the mother wound that I had going into adulthood and how that followed me. And I didn't realize this until later in life. And I had to do a lot of work. And, you know, I'm in a much better place now. But not having my mother there, it definitely impacted me for sure.
How did you get over that? Not having a mom in your life, like you said, that sensitive side, that nurturing side, because you know, dads, especially in that era, is you fall, get your ass back up. You better not cry. That was dads back then, but you didn't have that other side of mom said, well, let me hug you, let me hold you, let me make you feel better. So how did you get over that?
I mean, the first thing is just identifying what it was. It took a lot of lumps to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trusting and I'm blaming her. I'm not loving her the way I should, and I'm blaming her. And it just took me, you know, really when I crossed over and got out the streets and really settled down and gave my life to God, I started really being able to hear my thoughts and really put the patterns together and then remember the struggles that my dad had. Like, man, my dad struggled with this too. And then getting around, you know, they say a few good men, my pastor and a couple of good core brothers that I have, and just them helping me identify certain things and talking through that stuff. And for me, when I talk through things with the right person, it's cathartic. It's therapeutic. Like even writing a book, like it's a lot of pain. You pulling off old scabs and old wounds, but the end is good. So really just identifying what it was, understanding what it was, acknowledging it, and then allowing the help to help me.
I wonder how did that. How you talk about your wife, but I'm talking about this relationship with women, period.
Yeah.
How did that affect you not having a mom? How did you look at women like throughout your whole life?
Man, like I said, it was just distrust and mistrust.
Yeah. Did it ever come to a point like where y'all on the verge of divorce or separation, or was she just always very patient and understood from the jump what happened?
No, we went at it for sure. Yeah, but you know, you got to realize too, we started super young. Like first child, we met in high school. First child, 16 years old. Second child, 18 years old. And I'm living with Virg, like I said, my godfather trainer, and his wife. And she mad. We going at it. And Virg just sit us down. This is how you want to carry yourself as a wife and as a woman. Dre. And I felt like he was always taking her side. I'm like, why you always taking her side? He said, listen, I'm trying to help you, man. Sit down and stop talking. And he would just sit us down and break it down. He would open the word and say, man, this is how you supposed to carry yourself. Now look, when he go to the gym, and this is, again, we 17, 18 years old, 19 years old. He go to the gym all day. As soon as he come through the door, start yelling at him and telling him what he didn't do. You got to give him a chance to unwind, take a shower, eat, and then go talk to him. So I see her listening. Then he get on me. Man, you need to stop reacting like that, bro. You tripping. It was that type of counseling that we had. That wasn't even like formal counseling, but it was him sitting down, and this is in the middle of him going through his own personal marital stuff. He would sit us down to educate us about what he believed a wife was supposed to look like, be like, and what a husband was supposed to be like, and it was a lot.
How did they know you were the one when it came to boxing? You know, because everybody, I mean, you go to these gyms, everybody feel like they the one. Everybody thinks they're the one. You go to Gleason's and everybody's like they're the next. How did they know that you were the one out of all that? What was that? Something that somebody seen?
It didn't start out like that. You know, like I said, I think it just started out as something I wanted to do. And I went in there and I had to really pay my dues the first couple of years. Like I was getting beat all over the ring.
Because you said the Olympics, like you was ready for it.
But it got to a certain point where once I overcame in that gym after that first year, we call it being battle tested. Once I got battle tested in that gym, then it was like, all right, let's go to the nationals. Once I won my first national title at 10 years old in 1996, once I did that, I think everybody started saying that, man, he could be the one. And it sounds crazy, right? I'm 10 years old. But I kept winning, and I kept winning. And then we start, Verge to count on his hand, baby, we got 9 years to the Olympics. We got 7 years. And I turned into this prodigy, and I gave up my whole childhood to do it. So it went from me looking like I might not have it to all of a sudden he's going to be the one. So at a certain point, it became a foregone conclusion. I'm going to go to the Olympics, win a gold medal, turn pro, win championships, and make a lot of money. Like that just was the conversation in my home. It sounds crazy, but that's what it was.
All right, we got more with Andre Ward when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We're still kicking with retired boxer Andre Ward. Charlamagne?
I want to go back to your parents just for a couple more questions. Were you ever afraid that the disease of addiction would get you?
It did get me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it did get me. And it wasn't a long time, but it was long enough. I had a 2-3 year stint where, some people say generational curses, some people say generational patterns. They had me. And I was already, dibbling with weed and starting to drink probably 16 years old. I mean, it really stemmed from this, I believe. Like I said, my mother was a full-blown addict. My daddy was a functional addict. Once I started realizing that my dad was struggling and I no longer was buying the lines and I'm just, my dad would go to work all day and he would come home and talk to me and my brother, and then he would go up in that room. And he would always have the water running. It'd be like an hour, 2 hours. And when my daddy came out, his face was flushed and he just acting funny, slurring, and I didn't understand what was going on. Then I started putting it together. I found a needle. I'm questioning him about that. Then I got to the age where I'm like, man, you getting high. Then that bitterness and that resentment and all that anger started to rise up. So what I do is I go to what's familiar to my family, alcohol and drugs. But I'm hiding at this point. When my father dies at 18 years old, that was my excuse just to go buck wild, and I did.
Let me ask you a question. Jess and I were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and this is a no judgment zone, but I always wanted to know, like, when you see something affect your family in a negative way, right? I think we were talking about Bow Wow. Bow Wow was talking about he seen Mack Miller do lean and passed away from it, but then he tried it. And I always wanted to know the mind frame of somebody seeing it destroy somebody, but saying, I'm gonna try it. I can overcome it. Like, what's that mind frame? Because you see what it's doing, and you see what it does, but you still say, it, I'm gonna try it.
It depends, bro. You got to realize there's forces behind them generational curses. It ain't just natural.
Right.
It's forces behind it, and them forces follow you generationally, and you don't have to give in to it. But once you open that door and you say, yeah, I'm gonna try this, now it's on. And I wasn't emotionally, mentally mature enough to be able to make those decisions. All I knew was I was hurting. I'm dealing with depression. I'm dealing with anxiety, and I don't know that that's what it is. All I know is when I drink something or when I smoke something, I don't feel that way no more.
Yeah.
That edge is taken off.
Temporarily.
But once I got myself together and, I got clean and I kicked all of that stuff, then I started thinking the way you said, I'm never going to touch that again. I got to do something different for my kids. But I wasn't at that stage. I didn't have that kind of strength and power. And it's interesting too, because my dad, my grandfather, Harold, he was a functional alcoholic. Great man, but he had a drinking problem. My dad vowed I'd never touch a drink, because my dad only told me he loved me when he was drunk. And he never did. But then he turned to heroin. So it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Would you say you replaced one addiction with another when you took up boxing?
I wouldn't say I replaced it. I would say, man, I got free. And I would say that I just channeled who I am as a person, that drive, that focus toward the right thing. I don't look at boxing like an addiction. And I always have tried to And it's not easy, man. I don't want to sit here and act like it's an easy thing, but I've always tried to keep that sport in its proper place because I knew it would end one day. And I'm fortunate that God always put me around people who would walk that walk. My pastor, Napoleon Kaufman, former Raider, he played All-American in college, 6 years as a professional running back, and then he did. He went into ministry and never looked back. I had him to talk to me. Dre, listen, man, this is what you do. It's not who you are. God's got other stuff for you, bro. Just, hey, enjoy it. Give it all you got, but it's not going to always be there. So I had people like that in my ear, so when the time came, the impact wasn't as hard.
What effect did losing your father have on you? And what was your relationship like?
My dad was my mother and my father for many, many years. That was my everything. And it's had a profound effect, and I still feel it to this day. Now, the sting isn't as strong, but I have times when I'm with my kids and I just drift off and I'm thinking like, man, my dad could see this right now. He lived long enough to see my first child, Dre Jr., and Tiffany was pregnant with our second child, Malachi, and then he passed in 2002. I have moments like that. I think about how my career would have been different if my dad was here. I think about me helping my dad and giving back to him and buying him a house or just, you know, just doing life with him. I wish I had my father there to talk about life. I got questions, man. Even at 40 years old, I just turned 40, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think about that stuff all the time, Charlamagne. It was a devastating loss, man. Devastating loss. But I don't want to ever say I got over it, but I've been able to cope with it, deal with it, and you know, hopefully make him proud with the life that I've lived.
Because you retired at 33.
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
Undefeated and all that, right?
Yeah.
So if your dad was here, you would have gone longer. You believe so?
I don't know.
Or what?
Like, my dad loved boxing, but he wasn't like, my dad was always focused on the man. You know, like he was always focused on me and my character and type of play. Like, he was always big on that. So I don't think my dad would have been trying to push me to stay in the sport. I think it probably would have been the opposite. He might have wanted me to end it a little bit earlier than what I did.
How did you know it was time then? Because you was undefeated, like he was 13, relatively young in the sport. Like what made you? How did you know it's time to hang the gloves up?
Man, I started feeling it 2-3 years before I did it, and I would always ask the other athletes, man, how did you know? And they would all say the same thing: you just gonna know. You're gonna wake up one day and you don't want to do it. So I started hearing myself, Charlamagne, say that R word.
Retired.
3-4 years before, I would just say stuff, and I'd be like, bro, you hear what you just said? And I would be aware of that. I'm self-aware, like, yo, man, you talking like that. But I still had the drive. I'm still looking good. I'm still sharp. And went through the lawsuit period with my promoter, going through that where, you know, money going out, ain't no money coming in. And I'm like, look, man, I'm going to end this on my terms. They trying to starve me out. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out on my own terms. My pastor like, nah, don't do it. My wife like, it's premature. Don't do it. Don't send that letter out you just wrote. And got through that. Had my run with Rock Nation for 3 years. And it got to the point after the first Kovalev fight, I thought I was done after that. My body was starting to break down. You know, I've had multiple knee surgeries and stuff, and it wasn't boxing related. It's just all the preparation, all the training. And, man, you just want your freedom back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the type of person that when I do something, I really do it. Like, I'm locked in. Like, it's just the way I am. I didn't want to be that guy all the time. My body's starting to break down. My kids were in high school. It was like all these mitigating circumstances, Charlamagne, that start adding up. You know, I'm a numbers cruncher, so I'm crunching the numbers like, man, okay, if I get this much on my money every year, and my pastor was like, bro, you're not gonna be able to figure that out. You gonna have to step out on faith. So if you want to walk, you gotta walk in faith. If you gonna stay, you gotta stay in faith. So I went and talked to him after Kovalev won, and I was like, man, I think I'm done. I haven't been in the gym in 3 months, and that's not like me. I'm like, man, I have no desire to be in no gym. I just fought the dude that they said I wasn't gonna fight. And won a close decision. Everybody's like, oh, you lost, you this and that. I said, man, what am I doing this for? And he sat there, and I just knew he was gonna co-sign what I was saying. He sat there, he was like, I think I can see you doing one more. And I'm like, yeah, but I ain't got the desire. He said, once you go, that fire will come back. And I remember leaving his office disappointed because every time I talk about retirement, every time I talk about getting my freedom back, somebody always giving me a reason to stay. So it's weird, right? Like, I knew I was gonna miss it, but I'm also fighting to get out of it. And this is after I did this since I was 9. So people don't do the math. You're just 33, but you got to date that back to 9 years old, and the toll that takes mentally, physically, emotionally, the things that I missed, the things that I couldn't be a part of and do, the pressure that I have on me. I hadn't lost a fight since I was 14 years old. That's pressure. Dang. So you get to a point that even though I can do this, I don't know if I want to do this. Went and fought Kovalev the second time, and I knew it was time.
When you say freedom, like, what do you mean? Like, the simple things, like wanting to eat what you want to eat or not having to be on a training regimen? Like, what do you mean when you say freedom?
Boxing consumes you. I feel like it has to if you're gonna be elite. Like if I was on this trip right now, I would have to be doing the math on when was the last time I ran. Like I eat now, I try to eat good for my health, but I would have to eat good for performance. Right? Where your weight at? Hey man, when you coming back? All of that kind of stuff. I was always on the clock.
Always in obligation.
Always on the clock. And nobody put more pressure on me than me. So I was tired of myself. I need a break for me. Because I know how I get with competition. I need a break for me. I deserve to miss a week or two. If I want to miss a week or two, that feels good to be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was active.
All right, well, don't move. Boxer Andre Ward is still with us. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Andre Ward, retired boxer. He has a new book out right now. Charlamagne?
When did you realize you were turning generational curses into generational blessings?
That's a good question, man. I think when I start allowing God to get me together, when I start, my eyes started to get clear and I started to see things right, when I started to learn what it meant to mourn my father's death, didn't know what that meant. When I started being honest about where I was and being honest about my emotions and feelings, when I started acknowledging the mother wound and how it was affecting my relationship with Tiffany, like when I started like that's I believe that's being a real man. When I was able to humble myself and really start acknowledging these things, I started sensing that I was shifting the paradigm was shifting, and generationally the curse has to stop with somebody. And I believe that God was using me and my wife to stop a lot of the things that have been in our family generational, even poverty, certain poverty mentalities. And I just believe God was helping me and my wife to break that. So it started with me. I got to get me right. I can't lead a family. I can't lead my wife. I can't lead my kids. I can't do it unless I'm getting myself together. Perfect? By no means. But I'm saying them blatant things, them blatant sins, them things that generational things that we're talking about, I can't do those things and be the proper leader.
When it comes to God, do you remember the moment or event that caused you to like really strengthen your faith and your belief in God?
My father always gave me a foundation in the word, and it's interesting because I didn't grow up in the church like that, but my father had an understanding. He would open up the Bible and say, man, you got, I probably gave my life to God probably like 20 times when I was a kid, just making sure that it worked, you know what I'm saying? And just young, not knowing no better. But I always had a respect and a reverence for God. And, when I started getting notoriety, like, I'm aging myself right now, but the newspapers would come to the school and they would want to do an article on me and my brother. My dad would be like, man, you ought to make sure you give God glory and stuff. And I didn't really fully understand it. I was scared to do it at that time. My brother, he was outspoken. This dude, we're Christian. I'm like, bro, shut up, bro. Like, man, you always, like, I wasn't there. He was there. But that's where it started. But that was my father's faith. And then when I started going through life, and then I lost him, I was angry at God. I didn't want nothing to do with church, God, nothing. Like, you allowed this to happen. I didn't acknowledge that I was already slipping and tripping before my dad died. It was his fault. And every time I would smoke something, every time I would drink something, every time I'd be in a situation, I felt like my conscience was still there. I wasn't completely gone, but I would think, man, you're not supposed to be doing this, bro. And Verge used to tell me, and I talk about this in the book, Verge was not only a boxing trainer, but he worked in the probation department at Juvenile Hall for 25 years. And Verge had and has a gift for young men. He can look at you and say something, make you laugh, but also get at you at the same time. And he used to sit there in the kitchen, man, in East Oakland, man, where we lived. And he'd say, brother, God ain't gonna let you get away with nothing. And this is when I'm in the thick of it. And I would get mad and be like, man, why you hating on me, man? I'm just trying to do my thing and live my life. He said, look, man, I hear you. But I'm telling you, God ain't gonna let you get away with nothing. And sure enough, I'd be in a car full of dudes. You, come here. I couldn't get away with nothing. I could do a little bit, but every time I try to step it up. So those things were starting to chip away at me. And I knew, even though I'm still doing, I knew like, man, this ain't gonna last long. I'm not gonna have a long career in the streets. I'm just not. So it was that kind of stuff, Charlamagne, when I'm in the thick of my situation and I'm rejecting him, he's still running after me, right? And it wasn't to the point to where life was really happening. I had another child, and stuff just started piling up. I had to look up and have a conversation with God, man. I was off some ecstasy. And I talk about this in the beginning of the book, and my heart racing. And I knew I was gonna die. I just knew it. And it took that, Charlamagne, for me to get through my anger, get through my frustration. When the pressure hit, I knew where to go. And I looked up and had a conversation with God and essentially made a deal with him. Man, you let me live. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm sorry. And I had this, and I made it through that, obviously.
Wow.
And that was the start of my journey. Did it happen overnight? No. But I started softening my heart. I started being open to God again. I started listening to Verge a little bit more. You know, the window was closing for the Olympics. I'm probably 2 years out at this point. And it was little by little, man, but slowly but surely, man, when I saw God supernaturally take the desire and the taste for alcohol, drugs, and everything else from me. Some people may have to go to a program, and I don't knock that. Everybody got their different stuff. But when I saw that happen, I was like, man, this stuff is real. When I started to develop my own faith in my own relationship, and I started to sense and feel God speaking to me and helping me, and it wasn't just my father's faith no more. That was a memorial. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And then giving me the power to sustain me all these years in a sport like boxing, being a young father and a young husband. Like, man, I'm not that good. Like, without a relationship with God and having that power working in my life, oh, y'all gonna be reading about me on the bottom of the ticker. For sure. In my mind, one part of my mind says, oh, you would have held it together, you would have been fine. But the other part of me saying, you're not that good. So
that's the imposter syndrome.
Yeah. So it's all the process that got me to his feet, and then everything that ensued after. I've seen too much, Charlamagne, and I've experienced too much to go back. I just had personal experience where it's like, dude, and I'm not the kind of person that can just read a rule book and then try to follow it. Like, I need to feel something tangible, something that's real. I felt that, and I feel that to this day.
What made you start going to like seek therapy and things of that nature? Because a lot of people that's very spiritual, they say, oh, God is enough. What made you realize I needed something else?
Well, I got great counselors at my church. I chose to go that route because I wanted a godly perspective with it. You know, I don't knock anybody else. You got to know what's good for you, right? But then it just kind of naturally happened. I wasn't like, all right, I'm gonna make a conscious decision. I just started talking to my pastor, and him being who he is, a wise man, he like, well, tell me about that. And I'm all of a sudden in a counseling session and didn't even realize that I was in a counseling session. But I knew I felt better after talking about it, and then him telling, well, man, you may want to think about that, man. Man, I know you're going through that right now, but God's gonna see you through. And he had vision beyond what I was going through. That kind of stuff stimulated me. It gave me hope. It gave me the ability to believe that, man, I can do this husband thing. I can be a father, man. I could be in this career and still represent God and not be weird or obnoxious about it, but just live the life in front of me. I can do this. So it just kind of happened, Charlamagne. It wasn't really a conscious decision, but I knew I felt better when I did it. I knew I felt lighter. I knew it gave me hope. And I do it to this day. When I feel that pressure hit, I have my relationship with God, but I got a core group of brothers that I call. I got a few people at my church I can put past. I need to holler at you. I need to come. What's up? What's going on? Come to the house. I need that. So I just begin to see the value of it over time.
I just reported a story about Ryan Garcia and everything that he's going through now. We were having a conversation earlier about should they call his fight because he seems to be, just going through so many things and just, and publicly we're seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you have to say to speak to that? Or
he's in a tough spot right now because he got this fight coming up, and you do not have time for self-care, or you got to prepare for war. So it's this stuff is coming at a bad time, and it didn't just come. This stuff has probably been going on, and it's just showing itself now. I don't know about the social media stuff and if that stuff is him, because he did put out a video saying that he didn't have access to his stuff. But the things that I've heard him say, it seems odd, it seems off. I'm not trying to minimize or marginalize what he seems to be going through, but his father was like, oh, he's just trolling the wrong way. I've heard him say things about trolling, so I don't believe it's just trolling, but he's got a lot of followers. He's got a big following. You wonder, like, man, is this some of this stuff? But I think my gut is saying that it's real, and it's just he's no longer able to hide it or keep it behind the scenes. He's in a real tough spot right now because of this fight. But I think, and I don't know if he should cancel the fight or if he's going to be able to get through a training camp. It's a lot. You pushing your body past the limit 2-3 times a day. That's a lot. When do you have time to focus on yourself? You don't, and he's not. So it's really sad to see, and it's really concerning to see, because young kid with a lot of money, big following, but it's clearly something going on.
On the back of the book, you have "What if I die?" Why did you have that question?
That was the moment that I was telling y'all about where I felt like I was going to overdose. Yeah, that was the moment. And For me being hard-headed at that time in my life, that's what it took, unfortunately. But it's a moment I'll never forget. This is a human interest story, man. This is about a young man who had a dream, who almost lost it all, and gave his life to God, and has just been trying to walk this thing out and do life, but just do it better than my family members did it, and hopefully my kids will do it better than I did it.
That's right. There you have it. Andre Ward, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for coming, brother.
Man, I
Thank
appreciate
you so
y'all
much,
having me.
man. Killing the image. Bookstores everywhere right now. Everywhere you buy books, go get it.
That's right. And it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to Jess with the Mess.
News is real. News is real. Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore. Jess don't do no lying.
Jess is going to bring you numbers.
Jess with the Mess. I news is real.
On the Breakfast Club.
I know they know the difference. Keep it a stack.
Now we can get back into it. Gerard Carmichael, he is setting to put out his own docuseries on HBO. Now, his parents do not support him being gay. At one point, his mother tries to pray his gay away. This will debut March 29th, y'all. We have a little snippet of the trailer.
I have a boyfriend now. When that came out, I reacted like someone died. It hurt my feelings. Mom basically said I was going to hell.
I didn't write the Bible.
I don't think anybody's being hard on you. I think people are calling you to do better.
And Lord, I come to you, Gerard and I, take the desire from my son to be with a male. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I love you.
Okay.
This has to be discussed on camera.
Yes, I bring in cameras, and yes, that's my way. And yes, I'm afraid to have these conversations without them. Let's just blow the wide open.
How many specials is Gerard Carmichael going to do about being gay?
I don't know,
love
but
Gerard. That's my guy. But he need every docuseries, every special.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like he's coming out again for the first time.
Yeah. Would you pray with your mom if your mom tried to pray the gay away with you? Would you sit down and be like, all right, Mom, let's pray the gay
I think
away?
the respect that he has for his mom, I think
it's a
that
tough
he just,
situation to be
it's
in.
tough. But something that I just don't like that she said in her prayer, she was like, God, we come to you, Gerard and I. Gerard didn't come to him. Gerard already knows what's going on with him. You know, he's just showing respect to his mother. You know what I'm saying? But his dad, I think what's more interesting about this docuseries or whatever is that it sheds the light on his parents not supporting him in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Because
so-
this is the first time, right?
The first docuseries he did, this was even before his special. The special was called, I forgot what the special was called, but the first docuseries he did with HBO, he told them, and it was like they didn't even care. They was just like nonchalant about it.
They probably thought he was joking.
Yeah.
But and by the way, it felt like the public didn't even care. Nobody said anything about it. We talked about it when he came up here.
Right.
And then when he did the special, when he said it in the special, everybody's like, oh, Gerard Carmichael comes out. But I'm like, he's said that before. So I guess this is a continuation of it. Maybe you need to do them closer together. These are like sequels that are coming out 2, 3, 4 years apart.
It's still his life, though. I mean, he's still trying to figure out. He's still having these conversations with his family.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's very close with his parents. So
Of
it may
course.
affect him that they react in that way. But the first time, going back to, like you said, when they told him, and when he told them and they didn't really care, maybe that was the way they did it on camera. Because his dad is like, do we got to do this on camera? He was like, yeah, this is the way that I want to be. So maybe behind the scenes, they're treating him a different way. Like they're just totally like undermining him, who he is, who he prefers to be.
That could be dangerous, too.
Yeah, and that's why he wants it to be on camera.
Well, just stop paying for everything, Gerard. They can't accept your lifestyle.
Right,
I'm
right,
serious.
right.
If they can't accept who you are and your lifestyle, then stop paying for everything.
But are they paying for everything? Is he paying for everything?
Gerard?
We don't know. His parents might have their own.
I'm sure, yes. I'm sure Gerard does very well for himself. His family's in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he loves his family,
Yes.
so of course he takes care of them.
But if you don't love my lifestyle, I bet y'all stop paying for everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Nathaniel, that was the name of the special.
But it's very deadly. I don't want to say deadly, but it could be odd when you have older parents and you put them on camera and you start talking, because sometimes, like my parents use
No
words.
filter.
Yeah, there's
No
no filter.
filter.
There's no filter.
Y'all want to hear some good 90s gay slurs? Let me pull my daddy up on
Jesus, that's why
he don't even mean him. He don't even mean him in the way y'all mean him.
Nope.
But
that's why I hope he don't listen to Breakfast Club.
Who?
All right, your
You're listening
father.
right now. Salute the cowboy out there in Kidfield. What's happening?
Hey, what happened to your Cowboys, Pop? Remember he told me shut up?
Yeah, I can tell you right now. I can hear him in my head. Tell that beige.
I'm like,
shut up.
I know he's like, I don't know why my son sitting up there acting gay every day. Why do you act gay, son? What is wrong with you? Why are you putting up this act? Anyway, Drake Bell opens up about sexual abuse. A few weeks ago, I reported an upcoming docuseries. It's called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. It's an ID channel documentary that will reveal the unsafe work environment for child actors who work with Dan Snyder. In the earlier promos, they never revealed which child actor experienced the sexual abuse. But in the latest round of promo, Drake Bell comes forward. Drake Bell is from like All That, the Amanda Show, and he later became known for his own Nickelodeon show, Drake and Josh. Drake will be speaking on being sexually abused by Brian Peck. Brian Peck was a dialogue coach for Nickelodeon in 2004. He was convicted of sexual abuse charges in order to register as a sex offender. Now, in 2003, he was arrested on 11 charges related to sexual abuse allegations involving an anonymous minor. And people seem to think that anonymous minor is Drake Bell. And then what's interesting is in 2004, Peck pleaded no contest to oral copulation with a minor under 16 and performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. Last month, the cast members from Boy Meets World, which is one of my favorite shows, spoke about supporting Brian Peck during his trial. Now, he has showed up to court with a lot of stars with him, to support him, right? And they have a podcast or whatever. And then he had kicked it to them like he was innocent. And when they came and they saw the case unfold, they was like, nah, this man is not innocent. So they actually went on the podcast and talked about how ashamed that they were that they even decided to support him. And the victim's mother turned and said, look at all the famous people you brought with you. And it doesn't change what you did to my kid. I just sat there wanting to die. That was what the victim's mom said.
When's that coming up?
The documentary is set to air March 17th and it will air on Mack. So I'm watching that.
I'm interested in that too, just because I want to see how an institution like Nickelodeon, as big as it was, didn't have proper protections in place for kids. The whole network is centered around kids and child stars. So how is there not a system in place to protect these children?
And Drake Bell was not the only one. And then what's crazy on the Quiet on the Set trailer, it's producers on there acting like they don't know what's going. It was somebody. It wasn't somebody on one of our shows, was it? And the lady behind the camera was like, "Yes, it was." And they sitting there. I'm sorry, they acting just like the Nickelodeon kids back in the day, like acting they ass off, like they don't know what the documentary is about. Sir, what you thought this was? Yeah.
Oh no, maybe they didn't know what was happening to the kids. Is what they were trying to say. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but
well, we'll see March 17th what's going on. That's Jess With The Mess for the second hour.
Thank you, Jess. Charlamagne, who we give that donkey to?
Man, 4 after the hour, I need a news anchor named Corey Stark from St. Louis to come to the front of the congregation. But we're going to use this as a teachable moment or a moment to bring some much-needed change. We'll discuss when we come back.
All right, we'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out The Breakfast Club.
You better be a fake ass Charlamagne.
Some donkey today just saw themselves.
I've been watching Charlamagne. I was ready for you.
I'm a donkey. I never heard of donkey the other day. What is it?
I'm a donkey.
Say it again, Charlamagne.
I'm a donkey.
Yes, you are a donkey.
So I'll show you how to act a donkey.
Everything that Charlamagne is saying is true.
Donkey of the day for Thursday, March 7th. Today's the 7th, right? Yes, Thursday, March 7th. Goes to St. Louis news station KMOV and one of their anchors, Corey Stark. Now, I'm going to give this man Donkey of the day for what he did, okay? Because to be making this mistake in 2024 is insanity. But we're going to have a family discussion, too, because I'm sick of you hypocritical, contradicting-ass colored folks not being consistent, all right? We have to be the change we want to see in the world, and I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Now, KMOV has been forced to issue an apology. Corey Stark has been forced to issue an apology after he said this.
American dream, but tonight, colored homeowners are sounding the alarm when it comes to undervalued home appraisals.
Play it one more time, Red.
American dream, but tonight, colored homeowners are sounding the alarm when it comes to undervalued home appraisals.
Okay, Corey said tonight, colored homeowners are sounding the alarm when it comes to undervalued home appraisals. And the coloreds lost their minds about it. Now, first of all, the fact that the word colored is distracting from the actual point of the story Corey was trying to tell is hilarious to me, okay? And the story he was trying to tell is that black people were sounding the alarm on undervalued home appraisals, okay? The impact of racial bias on home appraisals is something that needs to be discussed and amplified, but folks aren't talking about that right now because they're too busy being upset over the use of the word colored. This is us distracting us, okay? We complain about our issues not being spoken about in the media, but when they are, we have found a way to deflect to something else. Now, like I said, KMOV and Corey Stark are getting the biggest hee-haw because this is just a stupid mistake to make in 2024. All right, we have seen enough examples of white people using the word colored to know this wasn't going to end well. Whoever put that in the prompter is an idiot. Corey Stark repeating it is an idiot. All right, Corey said the word should have never come out of his mouth, and he blamed it on a change to the teleprompter. He said the phrase initially was homeowners of color, but it was later changed. Now, the National Association of Black Journalists said they were appalled and disappointed by its use. They released a statement where they said colored is an offensive term due to its usage during segregation in the U.S. and the Jim Crow era. It has fallen out of use due to its negative connotation. Remember that line, okay? The term colored has fallen out of use due to its negative connotation. The NABJ continued by saying it is upsetting that such a slur would make it to the air. The term is outdated, offensive, and racist. I need us to remember all of this language, all of this rhetoric, okay? The NJAB said KMOV are, the NJAB said they are concerned that KMOV, that nobody in the newsroom caught this error, and they question their editorial process when it comes to cultural awareness. Yes, because St. Louis is 43% black. And the city is no stranger to racial strife. We would hope KMOV would be more sensitive to how it covers the black community. I agree with all of that. Okay, other communities don't let people play with them when it comes to racial slurs, and we shouldn't let people play with us either. Now, Corey Stark did issue an apology. He said, KMOV is meeting with community members as we strive to do better every day. The word should have never come out of my mouth, and it does not reflect who I am or what First Alert 4 represents, end quote. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing for me. You know I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, nor am I the strongest Avenger, so bear with me. I'm always open to learning, so school me if I'm wrong here. But John Bowman, who is the St. Louis County president for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, says he contacted KMOV right after the broadcast because the word colored is triggering for the black community. The president for the NAACP of St. Louis, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, says the word colored is triggering for the black community. Nobody gonna say nothing but me.
Strange.
I've said this before. Yeah. Okay, I've said this before. But if the National Association of Black Journalists says colored is an offensive term due to its usage during segregation in the U.S. in the Jim Crow era, and they said it's fallen out of use due to its negative connotation, and they said it's outdated, offensive, and racist, with all that said, don't you think it's time for the NAACP to make a name change? Huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Imagine the president of the NAACP in St. Louis making a call to KMOV saying, hello, this is John Bowman from the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and I think the word colored is triggering for the black community.
Lord, that sounds stupid.
I know sometimes these crackers just want to be like, nigga, please. Okay, all right. I agree with everything the NABJ said about the word colored. I agree with what John Bowman said about the word colored. But I also think we look like devil damn fools saying we are offended by this word when the NAACP is right there using the word. So how is Corey Stark or any other supposed to say the full name of the NAACP? The National Association for the Advancement of C-Word People? Huh? Like, what are we doing? Okay, black people, shouldn't we practice what we preach? I'm one of those people who believe whatever I demand from you, I must first demand to myself. So I'm gonna need you coloreds to figure this out.
Oh my God.
Okay, at least before next Black History Month, all right? Because when you don't practice what you preach, all I can hear is hypocrisy. Please let Chelsea Handler give KMOV and Corey Stark the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. That is way too much Dan mayonnaise.
All right, now, don't you coloreds be on social media arguing with me. Y'all talk amongst yourselves and figure that out.
That is crazy. Okay. How you gonna give somebody don't get a die for coloring it up and then you calling us coloreds?
Because I have donated to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
And that's crazy because I feel like trash because I was nominated for an NAACP with 2 of them.
That's good. For the BMF film, right?
I ain't going to bed until they change it. They got to change it. I'm not colored.
Jesus Christ.
But they should change it,
no,
right?
You
it's
are
very confusing.
Right.
It's very confusing. I can see how the guy calls him. Yeah, you call him and be like, yes, the best colored people. You're like,
yeah.
I'm offended by the word colored, but you're calling from the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People? Like, come on, y'all.
No,
come on now.
Totally
Let's use some
correct.
common sense here, guys. Come on now. NABJ,
but you know that's how people feel about the N-word too, though. You know that.
Yeah.
Ain't no organizations with the N-word in them. Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right, ain't no
They
organizations.
say, you know how can people be upset with people,
ain't no
people
organizations.
And
that's all slang and slurs. It's all slang and slurs. And I'm not saying they're wrong either. I'm just saying there's a difference between slang and slurs and having an organization called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I agree with everything that they said about the word, being offensive due to its usage during segregation in the U.S. and the Jim Crow era. And the NABJ said it's fallen out of use due to its negative connotation. They said it's outdated, offensive, and racist. If the president of the NAACP in St. Louis says the word is triggering and offensive, then somebody needs to change the name of the NAACP.
And I do feel like, okay, so I get what you're saying, Envy, but I don't think that that's a good metaphor. I mean, a good...
We know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. But say what I mean. Thank you. A good example. I think like that football team, like the Washington Redskins. Okay, they had to change that. They are now the Washington Commanders.
That's right.
I think that's kind of like what that is, and I do agree they had to change that name.
But there's no other group of people that use a slur as a term of endearment, though. You never see a bunch of white people like, "Hey, what's up, my crack?" Like you don't see that. Do you? Okay, maybe
sometimes they be doing that.
But that's slang and slurs.
Yeah,
we're talking about
slurs,
a real organization that has existed for years.
Now, if it's a hard ER.
Colored?
No. Oh, my God.
I know what you meant.
Thank you.
Colored? No,
oh, okay.
Like trigger, but...
Yeah, got you.
You know what? Mm-hmm. When we come back, Donnell Rawlings will be joining us. Thank you for that donkey today,
He's
sir.
just like a colored. It's just dumb. I'm a colored. Ain't nobody saying color. What?
Oh, my goodness. Donnell Rawlings, comedian. When we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We have a special guest in the building. There's a Netflix special that's out right now.
You're familiar with the old written law. Love your friend and his unwritten companion. Hate your enemy. I'm challenging that. If you simply say hello to those who greet you, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill center does that.
That's Donnell Rawlings.
In a word, what I'm saying is grow up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donnell Rawlings.
Hi, Donnell.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Why didn't you read the scripture you texted me the other day? You texted me Matthew 5:5.
Read it out, Charlamagne.
Happy are the mild-tempered, since they will inherit the earth. That's Matthew 5:5.
Welcome.
How you feeling, brother?
I feel very mild. In fact, I'm going to tell you, this is how mild I feel. I've looked at the careers of a lot of people, right?
Yes.
And some of those people that are super hot, that aren't that mild, they're not doing the same thing that the mild performers.
Are you talking about Corey Holcomb?
I don't use names. I'm not talking about anybody. I mean, we could get to it. I mean, it's not... Listen, I had a conversation with a very close friend of mine, and they said, they knew that I was doing the Breakfast Club, right? And they said, Donnell, don't do it. This is what that person said.
Don't do what?
Don't do what?
The Breakfast
They
Club.
don't do what
I'm not used to seeing you like this, Donnell.
They said, don't do what they're going to try to do.
Donnell, you've always been...
He said, don't do it. And the reason why they said, here's the thing. You could say, I'm giving light to somebody that doesn't deserve light. I'm giving energy and pumping up something that doesn't have to be pumped up. Now, we could talk about the situation. I see that sinister, nasty, light-skinned look that you're having.
Nasty, light-skinned
you look very light. You look very, lighter than normal, son.
Damn.
Like, you look like Tisha. Like, light.
Like a white man.
The thing is, I know it's your business as a fake journalist, as a media personality. You have to get to the bottom of this. You have to get to what people are talking about in the streets. I don't want to do that, but we can.
No, I want to talk about your special, Donnell.
Let's talk about my special.
And you
wait, what's special?
A New Day.
No, what platform?
Netflix.
Not on the YouTube, not a podcast. Continue.
What's wrong with YouTube?
I'm just saying, there's levels to this. It's apples and oranges. All right,
and that's what being a mild come and get you.
That's what we do.
Are you still in the top 10?
I'm still in the top 10. That's what we call, for people to understand that, they're looking for clicks. This is called, in this business of, it's called charting.
Okay.
Now, there are a lot of shows on Netflix. And here's when the world, not just a podcast, sees you. When you chart. When my special dropped on the 27th, the next day it was charted at number 2.
Congrats.
Now, no. Let's talk about it. Don't try to congratulate. Go to the other. I don't need that.
I just said congratulations.
I don't want your congratulations. I want to talk about the facts.
I have a respectful question.
Before that, I have to answer his question first.
Yes.
The special dropped.
I didn't ask a question.
Right? You were getting there.
Okay.
It charted number 2.
Yes.
And it held on to number 2 for 3 days. It went to number 4 for a couple of days. It went to number 7. I'm not really sure even if it's charting right now. But to have a Netflix special to come out, as many programs that are on Netflix, just to get recognized in the top 10, it's a big joint.
Amazing.
It's a big deal. And it's the reason why I support any comic that want to follow my lead and be mild. You should do it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. And to address that, here's my thing. All right, we'll say it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to be messy.
Don't.
No, but I got to say this.
Getting into it.
It's in your face. You sinister.
I don't understand
Your face
this,
should be
Donnell.
like, moo-ah. That's the type of you are.
I don't get this, Donnell. You've always been such a mild-mannered comic. What is setting you off about this situation?
The thing that's setting me up about the situation is being called mild. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's the same issue I had with you. For a person that
what I got to do with this?
I'm bringing you back in when I want to. I'm gonna pray for you, dear Father. Help this. All right. The point I'm making. What was the point? Can you keep me on track, Jess? What was the point I was making?
The point that you were making why you don't like to be called a mild.
The reason why, and I said the issue I had with you, and I said, okay, just keep on trying to create the narrative that he's not funny. You don't understand.
That is not true.
I said at the beginning. Let me say this. Let me talk to a comedian.
Yep.
You know, the N-word for us, not funny and corny. As much success as you've had, and I know that you've dealt with naysayers and everything, and you can brush it off. Your numbers don't lie. It's still something personal about somebody saying that. And you want to say, F you. I know I'm not. And the reason why I'm going to say that, and I'll address this. First off, you got to ask who's judging me, who is saying you mild.
Right.
If that person is not on the level of what I've done, when you talk about what your mouth saying, resume, if you're on a level, it's not even fair for you to make an assessment of what you think my career is. Because I can do the resumes. And this is what I could do. Resume. You could say the resume. This is what I know. You saw scorpion balls. I know. I'm gonna deliver you some. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, who's judging me? And then when somebody's judging me, you're making a critique of me. What are you doing? What are you doing in your career? But sit back trying to shit on a mother. And I take offense to anybody saying not funny because I know. After 30 years, that's not what the streets is saying.
I've never said you're not funny.
I'm not talking
about you.
He was.
It's always about you.
No,
It's always about you.
He made a reference
Do you
to
listen
something
to any of
she
your
was
mental health?
saying.
Isn't that the sign of a narcissist?
Yes.
Always bringing it back to you. It's not about you.
But did you open up?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
This interview is me.
That's right. Donnell
A
Rawlings.
new day, a new dawn, and I'm feeling good.
But you opened up for him that night, right? At Laugh Factory?
What?
Oh.
No, I didn't. Okay, I think it's very petty for comedians to try to be critics of comedians when you're in the same field. Nobody does that. And I know the question is, well, what's up with all this comedy beef or whatever? And it's unfortunate.
Who got that question?
I had that question.
There's an elephant in the room.
Absolutely. And we ask every other comedian that comes up here that question. And I was going to get to that.
He asked
How do
that
you
question.
feel about the comedy beef and the climate that it's in? Let's take away with a podcast who talks about everybody to get attention. It's comedian, you know, what comedy is in right now.
I answer this way. It's two, you got to like
with the OG comics.
White comics, black comics, whatever. Like,
yeah.
The thing is, in our community, we feel like it only could be one black person on top at one time.
Okay.
Nobody wants to share the stage. They feel like Hollywood picks this person, but everybody can win. Everybody wants to be Batman, but it's going to be more Robins than anything. We're not supportive of each other. We're very, very selfish, very competitive, but not the point of competitive.
That's not everybody, though. We see with
I'm
Dave,
not talking to you,
Chris.
Envy.
Okay, sorry.
I'm talking to a comedian. Do you want to do comedy?
No, sir.
You can start like we did. We can do open mics.
No, sir.
I know you have a platform.
No, sir.
And you think you can do anything.
I said no, sir. Go ahead.
Right. Do we interrupt car show promotions like this?
Sorry.
Imagine me interfering when you talking about one of your punk-ass car shows.
I said sorry. Continue.
All right. But anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
The question is, we very, 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 very hateful.
Yeah.
And as bad as the climate has been in comedy, this is the common denominator with everybody that's been a subject of discussion from Shay Shay interview, all these names that came up. Yeah. The one thing that's common with everybody is that we all started from nothing. There's not a story of anybody's name that's going up that didn't come from one family house. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Everybody they talk about had a dream and they turned their dream into reality. So my thing, if you want to be critical of that, then use that same criticism and talk about the come up. Talk about the people that have done it and let people know that this is something that you can focus on and you can do it, you can be good at it, and you make it successful. The only thing right now in our comedy community is that people are trying to sell controversy now.
Yeah.
They don't want to sell jokes anymore because they know what moves the needle. Every podcast platform, I did a whole media run, and everybody, as soon as I walked in, they wanted the controversy. I heard so-and-so.
About that, yep.
They want, I heard this. Because they know that our society, we gravitate toward negativity
We thrive off
more than
that.
anything. That's why you look at the news, whatever. New York news, you look at it, person was murdered in Brooklyn, person was murdered in Bronx, because we gravitate toward negative stuff. It's unfortunate where we ever get where we have these positive stories, never, because that don't move the dial. So you got people out here trying to move a dial with podcasts, whatever, and the way I'm trying to move a dial is by what I'm doing. I don't have to talk about it. I'm not cocky about my Netflix special. I've been doing this for 32 years, and anybody, you know my history. Anybody, they know my history. I put the work in. So when you try to discredit that, I'm going to defend that.
All right, we got more with Donnell Rawlings. When we come back, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Yep, we're still kicking it with Donnell Rawlings. His special, A New Day, is out right now. Can I ask you a real question?
No.
When you got into the mild...
I said no.
When you got into the mild disagreement, why didn't you leave the first time? Why you kept leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back?
First off, that day, I closed 3 shows. My name called, went up there, destroyed the show. But also know that I had to make an announcement about my special.
Yep.
And I wanted to say something that was real. So I had the crowd up here. I could have said good night. I took it down and I explained what this special was meant to me, how it got here. And it was a very heartfelt. And if you listen to that video, you could tell people was riding with me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to, I ain't got to get on standing up right there. I made my points and I knew I was going to use this. So I thought they was giving me the light. I'm like, I'm the last one. I went over my time not knowing that anybody else was on the show.
You thought you was closing.
I thought I was closing.
But they were trying to get you off the stage for the headline.
No, they wasn't.
Well, no, Corey was headlining, right?
So
You went
get
over
off the
time
stage.
a little bit, and you went off stage.
I knew went off my time.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving. Good night. And then they said we got one more guest coming up from the 3030 podcast or whatever number it is.
Yeah.
And they said blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, I want to listen to this.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to listen to it, I had already wanted to talk to this guy.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Because I was fed up, and like a lot of comedians, fed up with the antics of why everything that comes out your mouth has to be negative and people. I wanted to have a conversation, not just for me, but for the comedy community. Why is it that you always have to talk about people and nobody asked you?
But why you let it bother you? Because we've been in those rooms. I've seen you in a small wevenue and I've seen you in huge venues. We've seen Dave in small
Why did I
venues.
let what bother me?
But why are you letting what he said bother you? Because you know what it is. You know you funny.
You don't know I'm
Dave is
sensitive?
funny.
I'm sensitive.
Oh, okay.
And then even with you, outside of being sensitive, this is a person that always does this all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And the only way that you can actually ever get to him, to talk to him, is if you pop up on him. Because even in my experience, I'm talking about this person has talked about me years and years and years, tried to apologize through another comedian. Nah, don't send me D-Ray to apologize to me. I want you to apologize to me as a mother because the you said about my son. Then I had to call you. I'm talking about block my number out to call you. And you answer the phone like, who this? You know what I'm saying? And then you apologize. And then I would have never made those comments about you had I knew you were a comedian. Well, what that got to do with me being a comedian?
So he has apologized to you before?
He has on the phone. And then later.
It's a whole different story.
You get on that mic again on the show or whatever, on your podcast show, which is like the only thing you have. You know what I'm saying? And you talk about me again. You talk about me again. You talk about... So he cannot leave our names and the names of the greats and the name of the people that he cannot beat on a Netflix, on anything else, in any other realm out of his mouth. He can't do that. So that's all he has is that mic and that door and in that cold corner.
Without anybody being able to respond. Without having an opinion of anybody. And here's the thing, whether you know it or not, it was so many comedians that called me and said thank you. And going back to your question is that I look
you
at
asked the question?
I listen. Yes, he asked a question earlier. Back to your point is that him, like, I'm a good friend. People want to say all this shit. Well, even with that, it was like when I had a special or Dave Chappelle put them on. What you don't know is Netflix had already agreed to do a special with me, produced by Dave or not.
But so what? What if Dave did put you on? So what? You his man.
No, what I'm saying,
I'm put the work in.
I'm answering like dumb questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
And this is what people don't understand. And this is where the loyalty comes in.
Dave ain't just handing out specials.
That's the point.
That are very deserving of
that's the point I'm making. But people don't understand that. Any success somebody get with hard work, whatever, they want to say you had to do so so-and-so. So you dismissing work ethics? You dismissing going hard?
No,
you dismissing
I don't
God?
think nobody is. I just think you take. People see.
I'm not saying
grind,
you. No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying.
But it just makes sense. It's like if I wanted to do a podcast, right? Why wouldn't I go to Charlamagne, who has his own podcast, right? That's my guy, and he's gonna hopefully look out the best interest. Even when I was doing my book, I called Charlamagne and said, "Yo, these are the terms for the book. What do you think?" He's done it before.
Well, can I ask a question?
Whatever.
Could you and Corey ever get on the same page? I think him and Jess' situation is different because
what I need to get on.
Talking about somebody's child is another thing. But could you?
I will say this: for me. I respected him. Everybody don't agree with his style of comedy, and I've said this to people before. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it because here's the thing. I make a conversation.
It's been 17 minutes and you talking about it now, though.
All right, because somebody told me not to do it.
Y'all had a mild disagreement. Yeah. That's what it was.
No, we didn't have now. It's a misunderstanding.
Have y'all spoke?
No, I don't really have it. I don't really.
But then you have to understand something too. This man doesn't respect his own family. At some point, it's like there's no making up with a person like this. There is no trying to understand, to sit down. Like that type of person needs healing and therapy of his own. So,
and the thing, that's why I said the prayer earlier. The thing is, there is no reason for me to do it. I've already started with limited contact.
Yeah.
Always started with a mutual respect. But if you lose respect for me, I lose respect for you. And even when I said what I said on stage, not one time did I berate him. Not one time did I say anything bad about his comedy. Not one time did I say anything about his family. Not one time did I say anything bad about him. I explained to what I am, and I know that there's nobody going to believe that I'm a mild comic. There's nobody going to believe that I'm not. So you think, and here's another thing.
There's a lot of people that don't know what you're even talking about right now. That's what I'm saying. Like,
why you got this?
You have a great special called A New Day. It's on Netflix right now. Make it a new day, Donnell.
Here's the thing.
Donnell, make it a new day.
This conversation wasn't specific to one person.
It
was a conversation about this industry and how people move. And like you said, it's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Donnell Rawlings Netflix special is still charting on Netflix, and I want to say I appreciate this time.
We appreciate
it was good to see you.
It was
and
very
congratulations.
Good to see you. Thank you. It's always good to see you.
It's always good to see you, Donnell.
I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you and your hustle.
I support you. I want everybody to get along. You know what I'm saying? I want you and Corey to make up. I want Corey and Jess to get on the same page.
Look, you can keep talking that Corey to him. Corey, don't ever say nothing about no Corey over here to me. You already know we ain't doing none of that.
You know how I
Donnell,
feel.
we appreciate you for joining us.
Love you.
It's a new dawn.
Donnell, make sure you check out his special.
It's a new life for me. Yeah.
All right, it's the Breakfast
and I'm
Club.
Feeling good.
It's Donnell Rawlings.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Let's get to Jess with the Mess.
News is real. News is real. Jess Hilarious, Jess don't do no lying.
Jess is gonna bring you numbers.
Jess with the Mess, and this is real.
On the Breakfast Club.
I know they know the difference. Keep it a stack.
Okay, it's not much going on in the world today, but it's a lot going on in the world today. Kamora Simmons shades Usher visiting Russell Simmons in Bali amid sexual assault allegations. She said, y'all some wild boys. Girls, shut up. If you know something, say something. If you don't, that's it. Just be quiet. Mary J. Blige is in love. Oh, when it comes, she said, when you believe it, it comes to you. That's what's up. All right. Juice WRLD's girlfriend, Ali Lottie, allegedly sells his clothes on OnlyFans. Bitch, what?
That's the one she allegedly put out their sex tape too on OnlyFans allegedly when after he passed too.
Not you selling his clothes.
Mm-hmm. Why not just give him the Goodwill or something?
Or something. Or give him to his mother.
She might need the money. She might need the money.
Oh my God. You don't know how to get no money in these days?
And by the way, when you do good deeds, good things come back to you. So sow a seed. Taking those clothes and giving them the Goodwill, that's sowing a seed.
What?
That ain't gonna help with her rent money though.
Yes, it will. Sow a seed. Well, you don't have no faith for nothing.
Listen, if she call up here and give her cash app, I'm pretty sure one of y'all dropped something.
Lunch for.
Yes. Christina Mackey confirms breakup with Rick Ross. Girl, we told you. We told you it was your trial. And that was it.
Do you have to announce a breakup if you was only with a person for 2 seconds?
She was announcing everything else. She was making
crazy.
The hamburger helper and tacos and all that stuff that my son can make. She was sure. She was sure about it.
Your son can make them, but you ain't had them in 2 days.
What?
You ain't had your tacos in 2 days.
I know. That's it. That's envy fault.
I found her taco spot, but she ain't want it.
Taco Bell. Child, please. This is the crazy headline right here. Is SZA coming to Fortnite? It's crazy. Anyway, Nelly says he was part of the most competitive era of hip hop. He sat down on a recent episode of The Shop and he spoke on the era of hip hop he was creating music in and how competitive it was. Play number
Nelly, coming from the Lou, did you ever have chip on your shoulder because everything was LA, New York? We always talk about that with the Midwest, man. Like,
goddamn right.
Yeah,
goddamn right. But you got to understand, my era of music was the toughest era in hip hop ever. Ever. When I put out songs, I had to go against DMX, Eminem, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of us are fighting for one spot. So from 99 to like 2008, 10, it's the hardest era ever.
Damn. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
There was a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of people selling records. Yeah, I got to hear more context. If he's talking about selling records, I can see he's talking about selling records. He's talking about Grammy Awards. Because think about
he ain't talking about rap, though.
No.
Listen.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I swear I was
he ain't
with
talking
you.
about lyrics.
I know DJ Envy, he got different mindset when it comes to music.
Yeah.
He is like an expert on music, but I ain't never like back in those days because I was listening to everybody he named and I never thought of Nelly when those rappers had came up, like DMX.
Selling records.
Selling records.
As far as artists, as far as like who was the biggest artist, Nelly was that guy.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But like lyrically,
no.
I would think of,
No, he was talking about selling records. Remember, even that line Jay said, only
people selling units and pimp juicing us.
Yeah.
Nelly is a great songwriter, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just don't think of him as I've never thought of him as a lyricist.
Yeah. Okay. Well, CBS announced its first black soap opera in 35 years. So CBS partnered with the NAACP.
The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People?
Yes, they sure did. Them colors, they partnered up with CBS. And they developed the first daytime soaps with mainly black cast since 1989. The name of the show will be called The Gates. Why The Gates? It will follow the life of a wealthy black family. Okay. The show will be written by Emmy-winning daytime veteran Michelle Valjean. Y'all know y'all can't do that.
It's crazy
Michelle Valjean.
It's crazy how there's never been a black soap opera, yet soap operas seem so black.
But they said since 89, but I can't even remember one before 89. What was the black soap opera? I never remember.
I don't remember. I grew up going to my grandma's house in
like
Days
Bold
of
and
Our
the Beautiful,
Lives.
Days of Our Lives.
That wasn't black though.
All my children.
No, it wasn't black.
So it's never been a black one, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they're saying since.
That's what I said.
No, but she said since 1989.
That's what the paper said. That's what the paper said.
But I can't remember one.
I don't remember.
I don't either. But you know what? I thought Tyler Perry, that's what he was doing. He do black soap operas. Like, what is the Oval? What is the Have and the Have Nots? Like that.
But the soap opera is on every day, though, right? I thought soap operas are every day.
Well,
there's been no black show that's been on every day like that. Nah, I can't remember one either.
Well, we about to see it. It's going to be called The Gates, y'all. Okay. And it's what I don't know if I'm messing up her name, but Michelle Valjean or whoever. She is the writer on the Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh, they said it was called Generations. I don't remember that soap
opera.
I
don't remember that either.
Generations, the black soap opera.
Right, came on 2:00 in the morning when everybody was asleep. So the last time a broadcaster launched a new soap opera was in 1999, NBC's Passions. Okay, that's what they said. Passions.
I just Googled Generations.
You don't know anything about that?
There's mad white people on
what
this.
What the hell is black about Generations?
There's only 3 black people.
I don't see nothing.
4.
I see 1. Well, I see 2 now. John L. Allen and Christian St. John.
They ain't no all black soap operas. There's more white people on there than black people.
Exactly. Why would y'all say that?
People just be lying.
Well, it's considered a black soap opera. But
why?
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have an air date or anything, but we should look forward to this.
Oh, it was the first soap opera to feature a black family from its inception.
But that's not a black soap opera.
That don't make it a black soap opera.
Nope. But I don't care. Tyler Perry with the Have and the Have Nots and the Oval, that should be considered a soap opera. He's been doing this. Tyler Perry got a little bit of everything under his belt. So that's amazing. Okay, congratulations, CBS and NAACP Colored People.
The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Okay, Never mind the fact that John Bowman from St. Louis president of the NAACP, said that the word "colored" is triggering for the black community.
All right. Well, thank you for the Jess with the Mess.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, when we come back, we got the mix, the People's Choice mix. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out The Breakfast Club.
Who run the world, girls?
It's Women's History Month, and we're celebrating the most influential women in history. Check out this phenomenal...
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's Women's History Month, and who we repping today, Jess?
We are repping Jane Elliott. I want to honor her. She is an internationally known teacher, lecturer, and a diversity trainer. She's most known for her response to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. Jane Elliott created a controversial experiment. It's called the Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes exercise. This now famous exercise labels participants as inferior or superior based solely upon the color of their skin and exposes them to the experience of being a minority. I also have audio from her when she was doing it in one of her classes. This is in her earlier years of teaching. And I think this was the very, very, very first. One of her students showed behavior of a Karen. Play it, Red.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted her for standing out.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out, and I have the same thing.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. Are you in any physical danger here? Emmett Till was hanged by his neck after he was beaten almost to death, simply because he's made a statement to a white woman.
You've made your point, you're right.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is my point that I've made?
You can't make generalizations about any place because there's racism everywhere.
That's right. You don't come back in here until you've apologized to every person in this room, because you just exercised a freedom that none of these people of color have. Because there's no place in this country where they aren't going to be exposed to racism.
I'm
and
sorry.
They're Latinos. Every person of color.
Racism, this country.
Bullshit! You're going to apologize for what you just did.
I will not apologize because it is not a matter of race.
They ain't gonna hurt her.
Go ahead, Jane Elliott.
That's right. I love her, and I've always loved to see her lessons and all that type of stuff. This is actually, you can find this on YouTube or wherever. She is still alive, and I think she's 77. She's
77, yeah.
Yes, so I honor you today, Miss Jane Elliott, and I appreciate all that you have done for us, because she always been for the colors.
All right. When we come back, we got the positive notice, The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
And that was another phenomenal woman in history.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's time to get up out of here. Charlamagne, you got a positive note?
Yes, I want to tell people, make sure you go get tickets for the second annual Black Effect Podcast Festival, which will be happening April 27th in Atlanta, Georgia at Pullman Yards, man. We got some great podcasts on the stage. Wallow and Gilly, Jess Hilarious with Carefully Reckless. She'll be there fixing your mess. Horrible Decisions, Poor Minds Podcast, Debbie Brown with Deeply Well, Black Tech Green Money with Will Lucas, and the Baller Alert Show will all be on that stage. So we will see you Saturday, April 27th in Pullman Yards in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure you go get your tickets right now. blackeffect.com/podcast festival. Or go get your tickets on Eventbrite. And Jess, you know what I was looking at?
What?
I was looking at your upcoming shows on your website.
Absolutely.
You're going to be in Miami on the 9th this weekend.
Yep, I will be hosting that festival.
Why you ain't tell Jersey you're going to be at the Stress Factory Comedy Club?
Because those shows are already almost sold out.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. I know what I'm doing.
I don't know. I'm just like, damn, you got shows in Jersey.
I'm going to say, all right, y'all.
What part of Jersey?
I'm going to be in
New
Jersey,
Brunswick,
y'all.
the Stress Factory.
Yep, New Brunswick, New Jersey, y'all. And then I have dates coming up. What's the dates?
March 29th and 30th, Friday and Saturday. One show on Friday, a show at 7 o'clock, show at 9:30. Saturday, a show at 7 o'clock, a show at 9:30.
I might be there.
Bye.
No, my kids got a dance competition there, so I'll be there.
In New Brunswick, New Jersey?
In New Brunswick.
All right, cool. Now that you said something, now they're going to have me add more shows. That's the whole point.
Oh, no, you're pregnant. You can't do that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's the whole point of me not saying anything, because those shows are all just tickets away from being sold out. Now they're going to be like, oh, snap, Jess, you're going to be here, and they're going to my fans make me add shows.
Well, New Jersey is in your backyard now.
It sure is.
You know?
All right, so y'all, I probably more than likely will be adding shows. It don't have Sunday on there?
No, it just says Friday and Saturday.
All right, so more than likely I'm going to be tied that Monday, because I'm going to add probably 2 shows Sunday.
Thank you very
much. Thank you, Charlamagne. And I have upcoming dates in Connecticut, Bridgeport, Connecticut as well at the Stress Factory, y'all. Those tickets are not on sale yet. But once I get the dates, I will let y'all know. Yes, but this weekend I'll be in Miami for the Jazz in the Gardens Music Fest, y'all, at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens this year for its 17th annual edition, y'all. I will be hosting day one. Me and Ricky Smiley, y'all. And we got Kirk Franklin and Fantasia and Maxwell and some other people out there.
Okay. I just want y'all to know somebody just handed her that and she read it. Stop playing with my sister like she can't read.
They gonna be able to know.
You stupid.
Thank you.
Well, leave us on a positive note.
Positive note today comes from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. I love Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Rest in peace to him. He says, when you judge another, you do not define them. You define yourself. Have a blessed day.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
I love that. That was a new one. But you see, the new ones, the ones that we never heard before, always come from somebody else.
Oh.
So yeah, you should always get all your quotes from everybody else. Thank you.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?